And kia ora everyone, we are live. Kia ora everyone, my name's Zach. I love rugby. Welcome back to Haka Time Rugby. Okay guys, I thought I'd start off quite early here and do a little bit of a pre-match show where we can go through some of the major talking points for the upcoming game. Before we get started though, how good was the game last night? Did you guys manage to check it out and what did you think? Let me know down below. I thought the game was incredible. I mean, we're starting to see some changes obviously with the new rules. I don't think the players have fully adjusted to that yet. It looks to me like home ground advantage will be a huge thing as part of Super Rugby Aotearoa, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But I think that there may be a couple of things that influence today's game, both the ability to, I guess, get used to the new breakdown interpretation. I actually thought there were far too many penalties there at breakdown time, and some of them quite lazy. I mean, you had some of them which was, called for a lot actually for side entry into the rucks. And the ref just basically wasn't taking, any leniency there at the breakdown. So very, very quick to blow the whistle. I think we're probably going to see the same again in this game. I think, the breakdown is going to be a real tight tussle and probably go a long way to whoever wins this game. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. I do think, though, what was really telling to me last night, I think home ground advantage is going to be huge in Super Rugby Aotearoa, especially if we start to see some big crowds like we're seeing this weekend. Eden Park is sold out. So how much of that is really going to carry them home? Now, if you look at the Highlanders, for example, 2 yellow cards. They had to spend 20 minutes of that game without a player on the field. And through that, their defence really stood up. Now, we know defence is all about effort. And I just wonder how much of that effort was really a result of the great work, obviously, there from having the crowd support and that being the lift that the players needed. So will that play an influence today's game? I think it probably will. How you doing, Sean? Welcome along, bro. I think it probably will influence the game today. I think the Hurricanes have a really, really good record there at Eden Park, but with a full house at Eden Park, it's very, very difficult to win. And now that the Blues obviously have some improvements in their team this year, they could be very tough to stop today. But in saying that, how about we get into a look at let's take a look at the teams, because I do think that the team sheets are going to be quite interesting. Let me start off with the Blues. So probably the standouts here for me, I'm looking for a big game here from Patrick Tuipulotu. He to me, he's really come on the last couple of years. And last year in particular, I thought it was his best year in an All Blacks top. So, they'll be looking for him to really lead this forwards pack. And we know that there's class in the back line. So how the forwards respond and how they step up is going to go a long way to how well the Blues perform this year. So he's someone that we need to watch. I also like the look of Hoskins Sotutu. He's got future All Black written on him if he can get some consistency in his game, but he's a hard running ball runner, physical in attack and defense. He's a guy that I'll be watching very closely. Probably the guy in the backs I'll be looking at most closely. We know Beauden Barrett will play well there from fullback. But Aotearoa Black is one guy who I think is on the cusp of higher honours. He's sort of he's probably at the top of that next range of first fives coming through in New Zealand rugby. He is around his mid-20s, so, if he's going to do anything and push for higher honours, now's the time. But he's one guy that really needs to have a big game here if the Blues want to get home. One thing that was interesting before the shutdown is the Blues were running with 3 first fives and in 10, 12, and also at 15. Aotearoa Black I thought was the best of them. So how he goes is going to determine a lot of how this game plays out. Any other players we want to highlight? Good to see that Matt Duffy has got his 50th game here for the Blues today. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Dalton Papali'i comes off the bench. He's really, really good in the loose. He's another guy that's been talked about for higher honours. So let's keep an eye on how he plays. But overall, I mean, it's a really, really good balanced squad. I just think there's 2 really important players here for the Blues. They are Patrick Tuipulotu. He sets the tone for the forwards. And Aotearoa Black. He is going to have to march this team around. So how he plays is going to be very, very important to the Blues as well. Mark Talia has had a really good season. He's one guy that people are talking about for potential higher honours. So he can certainly beat players. He can finish tries as well. So we'll keep an eye on how he plays. But you probably can't understate as well the inclusion of Beauden Barrett and how important that is to this team. So I know we're all excited to see him run out for the Blues. He's going to have some dudes that are really going to come at him. I know in the lead up this week, Dane Coles in particular has said that he really wants to, let Beauden Barrett know that he's not happy with him moving to the Blues. TJ Perenara has also said he's going to be in his ear as well. So let's see how that plays out. But he's going to have a lot on his shoulders here, Barrett. So let's take a look at the Canes now. One thing that I really like about this Hurricane squad is their front row. I mean, Tyrell Lomax has got future All Black written all over him. Dane Coles we know is good. Off the bench, they've got Alex Fidow as well. He's been playing really, really well. So I expect particularly when we get into the scrums, and we know how important scrummaging is. I think that they're going to be hard to stop there. So let's look out for that. Asafa Moore is coming off the bench. We know he's a great player, waiting in the wings for both the Hurricanes and for higher duties there with the All Blacks. But it's going to be interesting to see. I expect this front row to really set the tone. And if we look at the rest of the forwards, I mean, we've got Aotearoa coming off the bench. There's been a lot of talk about Duplessis Karifi. I think good young player. It'll be interesting to see how he goes against that Blues forward pack, though. They've got some strong talent there as well. We know the backline. I mean, there's X factor across the park here in the backline. Very, very dangerous for the Hurricanes. So TJ Perenara in as co-captain. But if we look through this, Ngani Laumapi has got a lot to prove at the moment in that he obviously missed out as part of the World Cup squad last year. But this combination of Laumapi and Aso is very, very strong. Ben Lamb, we know he's great. He probably should have had an All Blacks cap by now. His age will probably work against him, but we know he's a great player. Wes Goosen as well, very, very dangerous. Look, this back line is extremely dangerous. And that's a big reason why I say Aotearoa Black is going to be crucial to the Blues, and that he's going to be leading that team around, and he's going to be trying to put this team under pressure from an X Factor perspective. Jordan Clark, what's up, bro? Last night was a banger for sure. I think this game, whether or not it lives up to the billing, it's got all of the ingredients to do so. You've got a full park there at Eden Park. You've got the Beauden Barrett factor there as well. You've got X factor across the track in both teams. The forward battle is going to be interesting for me as well. Probably some other things to highlight. We've got this bench for the Hurricanes is very dangerous. I mean, you've got Asafa Moore, great with ball in hand. Via Fafita, we know how good he is with the ball in hand, and Aotearoa, as well as Alex Fidow. I mean, they've got some real firepower, as well as Walker Leawere. He's equally as good as any of these guys. So I think if the game is close going into that last 20, then the Hurricanes have got a lot of firepower that they can really throw the ball around and bring on to try and take the advantage here. But it's tough to win at Eden Park. I'll say that. Very, very difficult to win at Eden Park. Although the Hurricanes have a great record there. I think the last 5 games they've won at Eden Park, but they've never had this level of crowd that we're expecting today. I mean, I think the reports are 40,000, 45,000 full house there at Eden Park. And, I just think that if we saw anything from last night, and it's going to be interesting to watch today, but I think that home ground advantage is going to be a huge thing in Super Rugby Aotearoa. So let's see. If these games are tight, then the crowd is going to certainly influence some of these games to get teams home, and that's just something that we need to watch out for. Other major talking points from last night. As I said, I think teams are still adjusting to the breakdown rules. I thought the ref had far too much, not influence, but it was too much of a talking point there for me. You want to see these games without the ref being heavily involved, and I just felt in that game that he was heavily involved. While I talk though, guys, I'm just going to bring a few things up in the background. But yeah, I just thought there were too many penalties. It did slow the game down a little bit, and we all just want to see open running rugby. We haven't seen yet what the impact of this golden point rule will be. I like it in principle. I know it certainly helped with making NRL league games a lot more exciting. And I've seen as part of the preseason build-up for Super Rugby Aotearoa that teams are really practicing both how to finish in golden point, but also getting guys set to take drop goals. Good example of that was Bryn Gatlin last night. So to step up like that and take that, it was huge. But if you hear from Aaron Major, he said that as part of their build-up towards this, they have been practicing at putting their players under pressure for moments like that. And Bryn Gatland, the reason they selected him was because he was put into two really pressure situations in their build-up, and he was able to very coolly win those games, whether they were practice runs or whether they were simulated runs. I'm not sure, but he certainly showed that he can, when the pressure is on, that he can step up and that he can win some of those games. So I think that's going to be, that rule in particular around the golden point is something that teams are practicing for. And, if you read through some of the comments and the highlights and other things on Super Rugby from non-New Zealand fans, people are surprised that Kiwis are actually kicking drop goals. And I think a big part of that is it is forced under this golden point rule, is that a lot of teams are having to practice for the event that they have to win games. And overall for New Zealand rugby, I think that's a great thing. It's always, I think New Zealanders have struggled when the real pressure is on and you need a result like that, particularly in years gone by, probably not so much recently. But, it's nice to have that extra string in the bow, or that extra option there to try and get home on really, really close games. What else can we say about last night's game that's probably relevant for today? There's probably not a lot more. I mean, it's all set up for a huge game, a huge watch. I'm going to be keeping score here as well, guys. So if you're jumping in and out of the live stream, I'll be giving my thoughts as I watch the game. So do come back at any stage and tune in. But also, if you've got anything you want to add, any questions that you want to ask as well throughout, please let me know. One thing that I'll be doing is I'm going to start running a weekly Super Rugby show. We wrap up all the things from Super Rugby Aotearoa, but as some of the other Super Rugby content starts to come online with Australian Super Rugby and potentially South African, I'll be covering all the key talking points. So make sure you tune in for that. That'll be Tuesdays. So feel free to tune in for that, guys. And what I'm also going to do is choose an MVP, most valuable player. And I'm going to do it in the style of the Delhi M, the way that the league teams do it, in that we give 3 points for the most valuable player, 2 points for a player, and 1 for another. Be awkward at the next Gatland family dinner, for sure. I think I read a report that Gatland, when he spoke about it, he sort of came across like a very, very proud father when he spoke about, Bryn kicking that goal. So, I mean, obviously he's disappointed from a Chiefs perspective, but at the back of your mind, you'd be pretty happy a young bloke is able to win a game like that, especially after coming in late with Josh Ioane out. And I thought that was a big blow because Josh Ioane at 10, I think, is his best position. I think it was a mistake to start running him at 12 for the Highlanders. So hopefully he's not out for too long. We can actually see him back in action. All right, who do you guys think is going to win this game? I mean, if I had to put my money on the line, which I like to do from time to time, I would be thinking the Blues at home are going to be hard to beat here. I mean, the Hurricanes do have a great record, remember that, but I just think that this Blues team, before the break, they're looking a lot better than they were in previous years. They've won a couple of games away from home as well, which is a big statement for any Blues team. It's that's a real improvement for them. And now they're at home at a packed stadium with Beauden Barrett making his debut. They're going to be very difficult to beat here. What I'll do in the background as well, guys, I'm going to keep an eye. Blues all day. Let's go. Yeah, I'm originally from Wellington, bro. So, but I was born in the South Island. So raised in Blenheim at the top of the South Island, Nelson Blenheim area. So that's Tasman Mako territory for me. And then moved to Wellington when I was 12, 13. But I've never dropped the Crusaders. Still support the Crusaders to this day. But the Blues, they're going to be hard to beat here. Jordan's got Blues. LB's got the Canes. Any other predictions for this game? Who do you guys think will win? And who are you watching in terms of their key performances? I mean, I looked at, and we'll just quickly bring it up, but I thought that some of the most influential guys would be, for the Blues, I'm looking for Patrick Tuipulotu to lead the way. In the forwards, he's been great. He's been physical, and I'm looking for a big game from Aotearoa Black. He's going to have to really drive this team around the park if they want to get home. For the Hurricanes, I think their key players. I mean, this back row is really going to have to stand up if they want to have an influence on the game. But I'm looking for Ngani Laumapi to have a good game. And what I'm probably looking for most off the bench here, if you look at Almua, Fidel, Walker Leowere, Fafita, and Savia, these guys are big game players, great skills, who I think will have a huge impact on this game late. So that's probably the tale of this game for me. The other major talking point, I think the front row for the Hurricanes have an advantage. Really like Lomax, really like Fidel. I think they're two great young players and X factor here for the Canes. So let's see how they go. All right, I'll be keeping commentating as well. I won't be showing any game footage, so a few people might be disappointed on that. But I'll just keep in commentary. You've got the score here right behind me, so that's going to be there for anyone who wants to watch along. Feel free to jump in whenever, guys, as well. Jump in and out of the stream. I'm going to be here for the full game. At the end of the game, I'm going to select my most valuable players. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to do it like the Dally M Awards, where I choose allocate 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point to 3 different players throughout the games. I'll keep a record of that throughout the Super Rugby season, and then we'll choose who is the MVP Super Rugby Aotearoa at the end. So if you guys want to influence my decision on that, let me know what you think. Who's playing well? Who do you think is man of the match at the end? Let's go to a few comments. So LB. Canes, but to be honest, I don't watch enough Super Rugby anymore. Haven't watched properly for years now. I think a lot of people are in that same boat, though, bro, to be honest. It's been a little bit lackluster, if we're all honest, around Super Rugby. I mean, gone are the days where you used to get up early to watch some of those games in South Africa from a New Zealand perspective anyway. You know, you end up just tuning in to watch the replay or some of the highlights. So I think everyone probably agrees with you on that. And that's a big reason why we're calling for change in Super Rugby is it's just, you know, this conference model was terrible. You can't, you know, it's not clear who's going to make the finals and why are there teams that haven't done as well as others that are making the finals, and you know, just haven't liked it at all. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I haven't watched as much as I would usually watch in previous years, but a big part of that is the competition itself just been pretty crap, to be honest. And my man Jordan, looking forward to the matchup between Reko and Ngani for sure, man. I don't think Reko's yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he handles them on defense, but I just don't think 13's his best position. You know, I think there's too much of a push for teams now to look at, you know, dual role players, and I just think Reko Ioane in particular, he's a specialist winger who on his day is easily the best winger in the world. When you start moving him into the centres, it's a completely different role. There's a lot more focus on decision making and also distribution. And I think if he wants to get back into the All Blacks fold, he has to do it as a specialist winger, not as a guy who's jumping between positions. That's just that's my opinion. Guys, I'm happy to read out questions and answer any questions along the way, so feel free to comment. Let's get involved in the conversation. Cheers to everyone that's joining along. All right, ball early. Here's a question from Louis, my guy. Louis, welcome back, man. It's been a while since I've seen you comment on the videos. Impact of Dan Carter. I think he's in there more as a mentor role. He spoke a lot about giving back to New Zealand rugby as part of this, and I think we might see limited minutes from him. It would be, actually, to be honest, it would be quite a shame if you start to get a guy like that dominating the minutes when you've got some good young players like Aotearoa Black there, who I think deserves an opportunity to run the team around. I think he's there more as a mentor role to try and, you know, get the Blues in a different mental frame. LB says, wing is this. Okay, so we've got a penalty here, first minute to the Blues. They are in their own territory. LB says, wing is a specialist position now. Yeah, it's interesting, man, because if you look at the last 10 years, you had a guy like Ben Smith, Israel Dagg. You had these sort of part-time fullbacks / wingers who, you know, who could play both roles. And actually, because there was a lot more kicking in play targeted at the wingers, it made sense that fullbacks were there. And they were there to sort of defuse some of the high ball work. But a good example of what a specialist winger looks like for me is Makazole Mapimpi, specialist defensive winger who basically just literally does the role of a winger. Great finisher, strong specialist in defense there. And, that's what I think Reko Ioane needs to do is focus more on that skill set. All right, so defensively, the Blues are looking strong here. They've started quite strong. Did I catch the stream from 2 Cents and G-Man? I did, actually, and a lot of questions about whether or not South Africa will move north. Big kick here from Beauden gets the ball. Aotearoa Black's having a run. Well done. So what do I think about SA moving out of Super Rugby? I mean, they need to do something. I've always thought that the best to Mood Abid, kickoffs right now. They've started. We're 2 minutes in. I've always thought the best mix from Super Rugby perspective was Super 12 because there's enough meaningful games that you actually want to see who's playing each other. I think as they started to expand and introduce other teams, it's just like no disrespect to some of these smaller teams, but no one's getting out of bed at 2 a.m. in New Zealand to watch the Highlanders versus the Lions, for example. It's got to find that right fit of meaningful games again, I think. And if I was to suggest what it looks like, I think it's Super 12. I think we go back to Super 12. I think Aussie needs to lose some teams because they need to be competitive again. Australians will get behind Super Rugby if they're actually winning games. So I'd be looking to move Australia down to 3 teams, keep the 5 New Zealand teams, and then keep the South African teams as well. So maybe, Super 12, Super 13 is probably the right mix for me. Opinions on the Premiership. I really like the Premiership, man. I've just started watching it this year, and the team that I'm following now, Bristol, the Bears, mainly because my favourite non-New Zealand player in World Rugby is Semi Radradra. So, and I've always thought Bristol sort of has that feel like the Auckland Blues. Pat Lam's there as the coach. Stephen Luatua's there. Charles Piutau. They've got some, and Charles Piutau's been playing really, really good rugby over there. I would say I like the competition, and I like that it's a different style to Super Rugby. I think there's too much rugby being played there, though. I know they play through the Six Nations as well, and I've always found that a bit odd that you have pretty much second string teams playing at that stage while the Six Nations is on. Okay, Hurricanes have got the ball here in attack. Oh, almost a try in the corner there for the Blues, but a knock on in the end. Yeah, Tiatia got very, very close there. Where can you watch the game for free? I don't condone this kind of thing. Do what you want, though. But I've used one in the past. It's called Cricfree, Cricfree. Like with all of these, though, you've got to deal with the constant spam, and you have to click out of, messages that you get and all of that kind of stuff. And there's some dodgy ads that might come up, so be careful. Make sure your wife's not around. But it's I've been caught out a couple of times watching that. And Tiago, ESPN. Are they screening it for free? Are they, LB? If they are, that's great. Okay, scrum time. So I'm expecting first scrum of the game. I'm expecting the Hurricane scrum to be quite strong here, even though you've got Tuamafasi there, obviously All Black, but I'm expecting a strong scrum here from the Hurricanes. I actually think in the next 2 to 3 years, the Hurricanes is going to have the best scrum in Super Rugby. And some of these young guys should make the All Blacks. Melody says Barrett looks better in blue. Oh, that's debatable. I think it depends on where you come from. I think he looks better in black, to be honest. Here we go. So 2-2 off the back. One thing that jumped out last night, actually, which will be interesting for this, is the players were all quite fit. And they spoke a lot. I know there's a lot of players who came into camps this year, and they were very, very fit. A lot of them were doing personal bests in their fitness tests. So I think fitness has been something that teams have focused on, probably more so than skills and weights, which has been great for the fitness levels going into this game. So Hurricanes on their own, in the Blues 22, take the line out midfield here. TJ milked a penalty right up in front of the sticks. See, this is the thing, is the refs are going to be really policing the breakdown now, so you've got to be careful. Okay, I didn't know that there was an ESPN link, so yeah, if that's free, man, cool. So Duplessis Karifi takes it in. They're inside the 22 now, the Hurricanes. They've got the penalty advantage. Okay, penalty right out in front. They'll probably take the 3. Jordan says, be great to see Artie back on the pitch today, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully he does get back in there. I mean, it's been, 8 months now since he last played, if we look back at the World Cup. I follow him on Instagram, and he's been training hard, so I think he's ready to come back in. I'll probably bring him in later. But I'm really looking forward to this bench for the Hurricanes. I mean, I'll jump back over here. If you look at it, Asafa Moore, if you haven't seen him, he's fantastic with the ball in hand. Fidel, again, a guy who can run, pass, do it all from prop. Via Fafita, we know how quick he is and how good he is. And Adi Sevilla. I mean, these subs could have a real big impact on this game. So let's keep eyes on that. All right, Jackson Garden Basham's got the penalty right out in front. Easy, takes it. All right, first up points. Yeah, Hurricanes putting the pressure on early. Three 3-0 Canes. All right, Beauden Barrett restart into the 22 of the Canes. Running it out. Nijat, welcome, bro. Welly boy. Whereabouts in Wellington? I'm from Wellington as well. What do you think of this? If you're in New York City, I went to this, I was there over Christmas time, and we went to this pub, Elephant Wheelbarrow. I was watching some stuff online, and everyone was saying that is one of the best rugby pubs. But when I went in there, man, you wouldn't know, they knew anything about rugby. But is there anywhere in New York City that you watch your rugby? Any rugby bars there? Hola to Gaston. Kia ora, bro. Welcome in from Argentina. All right, so the Hurricanes have got a penalty here. Looks like they're going to get a lot more territory. All right, so the Hurricanes now on the 22 have an attacking line out. This is ominous for the Blues. Still early. Freddie Clark, welcome in, bro. Welcome in from England. Must be early there now. What is the time in England? Must be 5 a.m. Daniel Jones, I'm watching it on KO. I live in Australia, so I'm watching it on KO Sports. Nijat says it's growing sport here, man. They've been doing well in sevens, the US. So it'll be interesting to see if they get the next Rugby World Cup beyond 2023. Been a lot of talk about North America getting a Rugby World Cup and what that could do for the game there. So great kick there from the Blues. If anyone saw that. Daniel Jones, 10-5, man. You're committed, bro. Welcome. Freddie Clark, same thing. Welcome, guys. Dumb kick by Laumapi. That's been one of the criticisms for Ngani Laumapi, is whether or not can he be more than just a crash ball runner? That's one of the criticisms of Laumapi. Has he got more in his game? Here we go. Reko Ioane's got a break. Gets the ball out. Oh, the Blues are hot on the attack. Try time. Try time. Well done. It's Caleb Clark gets the first try for the Blues. But that was all. That was set up by the pass from, it looked like from Aotearoa Black to Rieko Ioane, who got the overlap, was able to offload to Caleb Clark there. Yeah, Aotearoa Black. See, this is what I mean. It needed to be a big game from Aotearoa Black here. Sorry, Maximo, I don't speak Spanish, bro. But good start. My man here's pretty happy. Good start, Blues. I'm watching in I live in Australia, bro, so I'm watching on KO Sports. I'm just glad they had it, man, because they were talking that they weren't going to screen it. They didn't confirm in Australia until a couple of days ago. So glad to see Aotearoa Black with a good start there. All right, Blues up. Blues are up 7-0, 7-3. It's the work of Aotearoa Black. Commentators just said the work of Rieko Ioane. That was the work of Aotearoa Black, bro. 7-3 Blues. That'll make a few people happy. Oh, Daniel Jones ran out. Sky Sport ran out. LB says he supports the Counties and the Chiefs. Good picks, bro. I thought last night they were unlucky, actually. I mean, good to see the Highlanders bounce back there after a poor start to Super Rugby. But, you know, I thought the Chiefs, I just wonder how much home ground advantage is going to play here. I think it's going to have a huge impact. I just think. Oh, sweet. So Leandro can help translate some of the Spanish comments. Thank you, bro. We'll do that. Oh, Louis. Believe me, bro, I know exactly what nappy changing is all about. I've got my daughter's just under 2, and I got one on the way coming very soon. Dan Cole's down the touchline. Oh, he's try! What a try, Dan Cole's! Woohoo! Yeah, it could be forward, but man, what a finish. For a hooker, man. He had to run 25 meters there. I'm going to have to call on my man Leandro here. Can you help us out, bro? So they're still playing an advantage here. So if it's no try, then they're going to play the advantage for offside. But Dan Cole's had about 25 meters he had to cover there. Oh, he's in easy. Bro, that's easy. No arguments there. It's a try. Who is... Come on, guys. No need to swear in the comments, bro. Okay. Got it. Now we can't put the video on. Sorry, bro. So let's watch the replay here. So Tia, Goosen, bro, he had about 25, 30 meters to cover there. I'll be honest, man. There's not many. I agree, LB. I thought that was worth checking for sure, but there's not many hookers who could finish that kind of try, bro. Moore would have finished that though without being touched. He would have gone straight for the corner. He's probably a bit faster than Dan Coles. But I don't reckon there's too many other hookers that could have finished that try. Bro, this game is already starting on fire. What are we, 8-7? 8-7, 15 minutes, 50 seconds on the game clock for me. Hoskins, 2-2 almost gets over the advantage line. On the halfway, Blues attacking. Aotearoa Black, okay, they got the advantage as well. Looks like a breakdown advantage. Ben Lamb. FBTC Rugby. Okay. Let me check them out. Just jumping on this from Freddie Clark. Let's have a look. FBTC. Well, there's been some great rugby already. This game's already starting like last night's game. Denata Humano. Another Blues supporter here. Welcome, Jordan, bro. Oh, you've just started your account. All right, Freddie Clark. I'll check you out, bro. Are you on YouTube? Are you on? Let me check this out. FBTC, or is it Instagram? So the Blues are looking real good here in the 22. Forwards rumbling forward. Both. Oh, got you, man. All right, I've subscribed, bro. You got a new subscriber from me. I'll check you out on Instagram as well. All right, so Blues are on attack here. Inside the 22. Inside ball, Mark Talia. Oh, try time. Bro. That's TJ Fine. Oh, man, that was really, really good work through the hands there. Oh, bro, too early to be saying stuff like that. I think we hear that at the start of every season. But Mark Talia, bro, he had to beat 3 players there to get that offload. Who threw that last pass? Oh, Aotearoa Black again. Oh, inside ball. So Aotearoa Black out to Beauden Barrett, inside ball to Mark Talia, and then it was Faiani who got the try. I agree with you, Jordan, man. This has been a huge. It's already started as a great advertisement for New Zealand rugby, and I'm going to look forward to when the teams get used to the breakdown rules, and we see a little bit less involvement from the refs. Freddie Clark. All right, bro. I'm going to check you out, Freddie Clark. As I mentioned, I've subscribed. So, who do you support in the Premiership, Freddie? All right, Blues in front. Got the 2. Yep. 14-8. Let's get this over here. $14-8, man. Blues look great. All right, restart. Blues got the ball in their own half. What are we, 20 minutes into the game now? Slick hands from the Blues backs. Oh, Leicester. So Freddie supports Leicester. Nice, bro. Yeah, I decided to watch a bit more of the Premiership this year, Freddie, and I was trying to work out who to support. Good defence there from the Blues. Really, really good defence there from the Blues. So I was sort of tossing up and quick throw in here from the Blues as well. Beauden Barrett's got the ball in his own half. Gets it out to Reiko Ioane with the... Oh, Caleb Clark's away. Oh, good defense, cover defense there from TJ Perenara. And coming in from the side, off the feet. Penalty to the Hurricanes on their own 22. Yeah, I was looking at who to support in the Premiership this year. And I was either going to go Exeter or Exeter Chiefs or Bristol. So I went Bristol just because they feel more like the Auckland Blues, bro. You've got Pat Lam, you've got Charles Piutau, you've got what's his name, Stephen Luatua. You know, you got some of these Auckland Blues type, and they've got that style of game. And now with Semi Radradra, man, I can't wait to see them in action. So look at this. So Reiko Ioane had to really draw on 2 players there before offloading. Gets the ball out. Clark had to beat a player. Bro, this is some serious attack going on here. So LB, you're probably, like everyone else, where I don't really understand the new rules, but the main ones, there's 3 main ones. The first one is the golden point rule, so no more draws. They'll have a golden points period at the end of play. The second one is red cards will be limited to 20-minute impact. So, you know, if a guy gets a red card after 20 minutes, you can replace him. And that's good because we've seen some of these games where, like, first 5 minutes you get a red card, it's game over as a contest, and the fans lose out in that respect. So 20 minutes as a penalty, let's say, I think is enough. And then the last one is how they're policing the breakdown, which I'll get into in a second. Hurricanes have got a penalty here on halfway, so it looks like they'll be able to set up an attacking lineout. The rules on the breakdown haven't changed as much as the interpretation. So they're really policing hard at the breakdown. Players have got a lot more responsibility to roll away when they're at the breakdown. So what you're seeing, if there's any lazy work there, they immediately block the penalty. One thing that I've noticed though in last night's game is there was a lot more focus on the entry. Like a lot of those penalties were for entry in the side of the ruck, which hasn't really changed. So I was just surprised to see Hurricanes have got a penalty here on the 22. So it's towards the sideline. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they go for touch or if they go for the penalty. I reckon they'll go for touch here. So that's the thing, Mo. It's more about interpretation at the breakdown is what they're focusing on. There is another one, the offside rule. They're policing a lot harder. If you're not sure about offside, basically there's no benefit of the doubt. If you're not onside, then you're definitely offside. Is the way they're treating it now. So there's no grey area on that one. What am I going to do during halftime? I'm going to have some more beers, bro. I'm just slowly sipping through this. But as soon as this is done, I'm going to go grab some more beers. But during halftime, I'll just go through what I thought of the match so far. Hurricanes got the line out. They're on attack, a couple of meters out from the line. One thing from last night's game, it was just tit for tat. Oh, they've got an advantage here on the outside. Oh, try time Ben Lamb. Try time Ben Lamb. Oh, they're calling it a forward pass. To me, that was, I think go upstairs. Go upstairs for that. It's worth a look. The ball kind of came out of his hand and rolled along the ground to the next player. So I reckon it's worth them going up. Yeah, my guy Fernando likes the red card rule. I agree, man. It was ruining matches where you'd have, after 5 minutes as a contest, the game's over. It's good that they've actually come to their senses and they've got something there. They were talking about an orange card, which I thought was just ridiculous, man. Yep, that's right, bro. Just officiating. Do we get a show? You want me to? What kind of show? You want me to finish a beer on the camera, or I can do that? Okay, Freddie, got my subscription. Cool, bro. I'll keep an eye out for Premiership content because I'm keen to check out more of it and understand more of how it works. All right. Just listening to Tana speak it. Tana Umaga is one of the assistant coaches. He's speaking right now. Tana, one of the great legends of All Blacks rugby, obviously. Let's see. Fernando says Ben Lamb for All Blacks this year. Probably not, bro. I thought he was unlucky, and I thought part of the selection policies previously were pretty poor in general for New Zealand rugby. And unfortunately, he didn't get a run. I don't think he's going to get a run now. He's just getting kicking on a little bit in age. Lots of mauls last night. That was a surprise, but that was how good. That was one of the key strengths last night for the Highlanders was their maul. There was a couple of times I thought they would do more of that, but they were able to use it to great effect. And obviously, first try was through the maul. Okay, Ben Lamb's got the ball. Let's try. No doubt this time. Okay, Ben Lamb scores that one. Let's see. So we want a Vorteke. We want a Shui. Nah, it's not going to happen. Sorry. Yeah, good of you to join. It's between the Premiership and Super Rugby, bro. I mean, they're different tournaments with different styles, and countries have different rugby DNA. Obviously, New Zealand likes to throw the ball around, so it's a little bit quicker in Super Rugby, whereas in England the set piece dominates. And I like that side of Premiership Rugby as well. I think a lot more of a focus on set pieces being quite important in World Rugby right now. So you've got to find that right balance, and I like being able to see both the Premiership and Super Rugby. What's up to Brizzy? Welcome, bro. Ben Lamb missed his chance. LB says Ben Lamb missed his chance. I agree, bro. He did have a chance to get into the All. I actually think the selectors should have selected him a few years ago, but in New Zealand rugby, it's very hard to. Well, there's no job security as a winger in New Zealand rugby, and also once you start to get over a certain age, it's very difficult to get in. So Ben Lamb has missed his chance. All right, let's update the score. I'm using KO, bro, to watch mine in Australia. 14-13. 14-13. All right, we see a maul here for the Hurricanes. People weren't expecting to see, the rolling maul and drop goals in New Zealand rugby. A lot of people weren't expecting to see that at all. Okay, controlling the ball well here for the Hurricanes. Kick the ball down. Aotearoa Black's got it. Barrett returns the kick. Beauden Barrett got the ball. All right, Talia's not going to kick it. He's going to run it. So Mark Talia runs into his. He's just short of halfway here with the ball for the Blues. Attacking kick for Aotearoa Black. Lots of space out there. All right, that's good advantage here. Beauden Barrett gets caught. Oh, over the ball. And stolen. Hoskins Satutu, he's one guy that really looking out for. I think, the Hurricanes got it back. Hoskins Satutu is a guy that I think can make the All Blacks. I think he's, the loose forwards right now for the All Blacks are wide open. We know that Kieran Reid's obviously moved on as well as some other guys, so Tui Pelotu's strong there. But the Hurricanes get a penalty. What's that for? Side entry. So this is, I don't understand why teams are giving away penalties with side entry at the breakdown. We saw it a lot last night. And this stat, Blues have conceded 7 penalties, the Hurricanes 2. So I think if the Blues really want to do better here, they've got to get some discipline at the breakdown. Let's read some of these comments. Another Hurricane supporter here. Welcome along, bro. Argentina probably needs a stronger domestic comp. Yeah, it's interesting, bro. Like, I think teams, and Eddie Jones speaks about this, but teams try to copy New Zealand rugby in their domestic comp too much. But the domestic comp in New Zealand works well for New Zealand. I think other teams need to find their own way of doing it. Like for Australian rugby, for example, they've got a pretty good culture there at the club level. But when you step up to the next level, I just think there's been too many teams for them to choose from there, and having 5 Super Rugby teams or 5 professional teams overall. I think it worked well when they had 3 and there was real competition for spots, and that pathway from club through to Super Rugby level, it actually meant something because it was harder to achieve. It sort of creates this culture of competition, and that's something that's been missing. Well, there's a lot of things missing from Australian rugby, but that's one example where the New Zealand model would never work in Australia. Curry Cup as well. That's it's different. Spoke to one of the SA YouTubers, and he spoke a lot about how varsity rugby was a big part of South African rugby that really underpins their domestic competition. So for me, different countries have different different challenges, and they need to approach it in different ways. Melody asks, have I ever been to Briscoe's? I've been to Briscoe's, yeah. Briscoe's, you never buy better. Let's see. Yeah, this is one thing that's going to divide, I think, in Super Rugby versus, well, in international rugby. New Zealand now can make the changes because, we have the decision of the competition right now. Okay, so Hurricanes player goes into touch and Blues 22. Blues will get the line out. But, Australia has come up with a number of rules based on the league rules, so they've had an opportunity to make their own rules. We're starting to see a departure, I guess, between the teams and a lack of consistency on how the rules will be applied. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. World Rugby has been talking a lot about rules that will improve the game and the attacking side of the game. I just think that between interpretations, the rules that are being applied in the different professional leagues, we might see a real difference in how the game is policed, and that could be difficult when you get to international level, and how refs are going to police the games. It's going to be, and players just won't be ready for the different types of refereeing interpretations that we're going to see. So I agree with you. It really needs to be looked at, and it could present a big problem very soon. What's my reaction to Steve Hansen leaving? What do you think decision on new coach? So I think firstly, what do I think of Steve Hansen leaving? I thought Blues get a penalty just before their half here, so it's good they'll be able to set up an attacking lineup. What do I think about Steve Hansen leaving? I thought it was about the right time for him to be leaving, so happy with the decision for him to leave. And what do I think of the selection? So there are 5 New Zealand coaches who I think would do just as good a job as each other, who would be very, very good All Blacks coaches. Jamie Joseph, obviously, Dave Rennie, you've got Warren Gatlin, Scott Robertson, and Ian Foster. Of those 5 names that I just mentioned, the All Blacks have got the worst of the 5 coaches, in my opinion, right? I think Dave Rennie, any one of those guys would probably have done a good job at All Blacks level, but I think they carry a bit more mana, which is an important factor when it comes to being an All Black, but also being an All Black coach. And that's something I think of the 5, any one of those other 4 probably had stronger mana. I also like the idea of someone, Mark Talia, with the bump off. Mark Talia! Oh! Beats 5 players. Oh, penalty. That was just lazy. That's my opinion on the new coach. I think Ian Foster is probably the weakest of the 5 coaches. There's something to be said with him being in the All Blacks environment already, I guess. That's important. But I just think in terms of mana, we could have gone with a stronger option. But the way they selected the new coach as well, it meant that basically Ian Foster was always going to get that job. You need a good schoolboy rugby. I agree, bro. The strongest schoolboy rugby is obviously in South Africa. They seem to be winning all the time in that league, and they speak a lot about that schoolboy rugby games can get 20, 25,000 people watching. So it's crazy. Oh, Mark Talia, man, he's a beast. New Zealand rugby's still strong. Rugby in England, very, very strong. So we're starting to see the benefits of having strong schoolboy rugby. I agree with you. Typical FOB 183. One thing that's standing out to me in this game, guys, is that the Blues are giving away far too many penalties. Far too many penalties. and it's really costing them. Liam McDonald looks a bit concerned. You know, they should really be winning this game and winning it comfortably, but they've. What's the current penalty count? Let me see if I can check this out. Let's see. Match stats. Passes offload, turnovers conceded. Discipline 7-2. See, this is poor from the Blues. They really need to get some discipline if they want to win this game. The scrums, yeah, they've been pretty even. There hasn't been too many scrums actually. My man says Blues need to relax. I agree with you, bro. Opinions on Ben Lamb. Very, very good player. Unlucky not to make the All Blacks in previous years, and has probably missed his opportunity now. LB says, varsity rugby, very popular. Super Rugby was never supported well in SA. Yeah, I agree. Curry Cup. I've always found Curry Cup really interesting, man. But from the people that I've spoken to on SA Rugby and how it works, they exactly what you said. Varsity rugby and schoolboy rugby, very, very foundational part of South African rugby. In New Zealand, it's the clubs. Well, actually, in New Zealand, everything revolves around the All Blacks. That's the big difference. So clubs feed Super Rugby, feed the All Blacks, but it's all okay. Penalty to the Blues out of the scrum. Interesting. So I was thinking the Hurricanes would dominate the scrum, but they're actually getting penalty the other way here. Or for Tuanga Fussy, obviously All Black knows how to do some good work there at international level for sure. So Blues are inside the Hurricanes half. What are we, 36 minutes into this game? Who are the players that are standing out for you guys? Let me know who you think is standing out at this stage in the game. I'm going to select a MVP for Super Rugby season, but I want input from everyone on how we think this is going and who's standing out. All right, Blues have got the ball out of the line out. They're attacking in the 22. Oh, come on, that's a penalty, ref. Forwards are setting up midfield. All right, here we go. Blues out to Aotearoa Black. Reko Ioane. He's actually playing really well, Reko Ioane. Penalty the other way. See, the Blues are just giving away too many. Melody asked, who's your biggest rugby influencer? Do you mean influence or influencer? Biggest rugby influence for me? The late, great Jonah Lomu. This was actually a gift from my wife for our anniversary, but he's the biggest influence. The biggest influence I've had on rugby is from Jonah Lomu. I've got a story to tell on Jonah, actually. I'll do a video on this one day, but I won a competition to meet him as a kid. This was in 97. He was injured at the time, obviously after the 95 World Cup. And, you can imagine, right? So as a kid, Jonah Lomu, the #1 rugby player in the world at the time, certainly the most recognised. And it was a big influence on me at that stage of my life. And then I kept playing rugby, and I eventually got to play with Jonah late in his career. He was looking to get, he was sort of looking to get back in shape, and it was more for a bit of social fitness for him. I was at the end of my club rugby days, and he came down and played with the boys one game for a bit of fun. But I'll tell that full story one day on the channel. How's Bodie doing so far? Bodie's doing okay. So the Blues give away another penalty here. This is just nuts the way they're going. So how's Bodie doing so far? He's been solid without really standing out, I've thought. Aotearoa Black is probably having the biggest influence on this game. That's what I said before this game. I think he was one guy who I was hoping would have a good game, and he's pivotal to moving the Blues around. Their big issue right now is they're giving away way too many penalties. We're only 1 minute until half time, but the Blues just far too many penalties. Match stats, let's have a look. Yeah, they've given away 9 penalties now. All right, who else? Too early to pick an MVP. I agree, bro, but who do you think is standing out at this stage? Freddie Clark asks opinion on global season. I might answer that one during the break. We've got 30 seconds left. Hurricanes on attack. Ioane, usually lazy, but today... See, this is what was always the concern with Rieko Ioane last couple of years is his work rate. He really needed to pick up his work rate. He's definitely doing that in this game. Oh, the knock on Tuipulotu. Hey, there's another guy that I said before the game would be influential in this game. So Patrick Tuipulotu, huge defensive work there, and turns it over with the Hurricanes on attack. And it looks like Siren's just gone as well, so we're about to go into the half. All right. So halftime. Is there anything else going on here? All right, they haven't stopped play yet. Looks like a scrum before they finish up. I'm interested in scrum time. I mean, we haven't seen too many scrums in Super Rugby, so solid scrum there from the Blues. Caleb Clark. He looks good. Actually, I like the look of Caleb Clark. I'm surprised that in their own half they're still having a crack. I mean, I'd be doing okay, knock on, so that's halftime. Knock on, that's halftime. All right, let me give you my thoughts on the game so far as we watch this. There's some real danger play in both teams. Obviously, Hurricanes in their backs and Dan Cole's running down the sideline was pretty spectacular. The back line in the Blues is looking really cohesive at the moment, led by Aotearoa. He's probably having the biggest influence on the game for me right now. In his ability, let me just get all the way so you can see the score, in his ability to run the team around the track. A lot of the passes that are leading to breakaways, it's coming from Aotearoa. I said before the game that Patrick Tuipulotu would be, have a huge influence on this game, and if he plays well, then they'd get a lot of go-forward momentum and would look very dangerous. That's exactly what's happened. Tuipulotu the last year or so has really stepped up, and I like him in a leadership position there for the Blues. And we're starting to see that he's really influencing this game and keeping the forwards and the momentum on top. The biggest issue for the Blues is their discipline. I mean, if I come over to this, let's go to here. You can see here nine penalties to 3. And Tana Umanga, when he was interviewed during the game then, he said it himself. He said that discipline's a real concern. They need to get on top of it. So for me, that's something that the senior players really need to push forward with for the Blues. I mean, it's actually, given their dominance so far in this game, I actually think the score, they should be further out than they are. Currently 14-13, and it's close. And yeah, I'm just concerned that their discipline might let them down in this game. And unfortunately, that is something the Blues have been traditionally poor at, is maintaining good discipline. Got all the skills in the world, got all the players, to do the job. They're just unfortunately lacking on the discipline side. So based on that, so question here for my man Saloni. Who am I voting for at this stage between the Blues and the Hurricanes? Oh, it's interesting, man. I think the Blues can correct the discipline issues. I think with that home crowd behind them, the Blues should be able to get home. But the Hurricanes have got a real good reserve bench. If I just jump over to them, mentioned this before, Asafo Amua, Alex Fidel, Walker Leawere, Fafita, and Severe. I mean, these guys are all world-class ball runners, ball players, and given the faster rules, could really impact this game. So it's going to come down to the ability to be composed for the Blues versus the firepower we probably see from the Hurricanes. I think the Blues get home, though. I think they can correct those discipline issues. They've got the crowd behind them. I think it's going to be, if I was going to choose a team right now, it's Blues in a close one, is how I see it. Blues 4 playing well, yes, that's right. The Type 5 have been good. Patrick Tuipulotu went to your college. That's cool, bro. How was he in his college days? Was he a beast back in those days, or how was he? Melody, probably the best comment of the day. Go and get your beer. Yes, I shall. I'll be back in a second, everyone. Back, top beer. Okay. So what else to say on this? I think, am I going to do more streams, Freddie? Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll do every game from here. I mean, I jumped on last night to do a stream, and to be honest, I wasn't even going to do it, but I was having a few beers, and I just thought, oh, let's jump on and see what people think, and I enjoyed that. I'm certainly enjoying bringing my opinions on the game, if you guys are interested. Just watching some of the replays now, and Aotearoa Black has been very important to the go forward of the Blues. I mean, he's really able to control this game, but also some of the last passes have been from Aotearoa Black. This try from Dan Coles was crazy, man. Running down that sideline. Then the Blues hit back. It was that pass there, Aotearoa Black to Beauden Barrett, to Mark Talia, who beat a couple of players, to TJ Faiani. And then Ben Lamb finally got the try in the corner there. So what do I think now, guys? I think it's going to be a close game, close finish. If I was to choose a team, then I would say the Blues get home in a close one. I do think they can correct that. I do think they can correct their issues with penalties. Yeah, bro. Blues going to get a shellacking in the change room, lack of discipline, 100%. I mean, that was poor to be 9-3 penalty count. And a lot of them were in good attacking positions for them, and they just got turned over with poor discipline. It's just poor. Let's go back to some of these previous questions, shall we? Let's have a look. All right, question here from Jordan, my man Jordan. Do you agree with EJ that coaches should be on the sideline yelling at the refs? Well, it gives it another element for sure. Should they be on the sidelines? Nobody really cares when the game starts what the refs and what the coaches are doing. Eddie Jones is a bit of a personality. I think we'd all like to see him on the sidelines, but it would definitely be a bit weird seeing someone like Rassie Erasmus screaming on the sidelines. And you know, did anyone see that part? It was just after they just showed the Dan Coles try. All the Hurricanes are celebrating. Beauden Barrett's in the area. They grab him and pull him into the celebration. Let's see any other comments here. Freddie Clark asks opinions on global season if it happens. I don't think the global season is going to be easy to manage or easy to negotiate. I think most likely between the North and the South who can concede on the timings, because someone has to change their schedule for a global season to be a reality. And most likely to change their season would be the South as opposed to the North. I think the clubs in the Northern Hemisphere have far too much say. No one is going to move the Six Nations because it's too much of a commercial success. And obviously it's, I just think they have far too much influence on the global game now. So between the club game and the Six Nations itself, you're not going to be able to move, I think, those teams. So the question will be, will the Southern Hemisphere teams be willing to move their season or schedule in order to accommodate a global game? And in my view, it's just a bit too hard. Like there's just too much rugby being played anyway. So I'd like to see a reduction in Super Rugby to open up some more windows, and then really look at some club playoff games. I think would be quite interesting. that'd be a good start in the global calendar. And then we've still got these 2 open windows for internationals. So I'd probably see that would need some adjustments as well. But overall, can I see it as a reality? Honestly, man, I think there's too many hurdles for a global season to be a reality in the short term. That's just my opinion. I think commercial viability, or you're not going to see any concessions in the Northern Hemisphere, and I think the Southern Hemisphere might be reluctant to concede on schedule. What's everyone else up to today? Is everyone having a few beers, or what's going on in everyone's day today? Let's see. Yeah, sorry, everyone's asking, can I show the game? Unfortunately, I can't. It's copyright, and it might be boring me just talking to you guys, but I'm enjoying it, man. A couple of beers, watching rugby and having a chat. I don't think there's much better. The Blues with tied with the Canes will pull through. Melody is saying Blues will get tired and Canes will pull through for the win. Could happen. In the preseason, though, when all the players came back, they had their fitness tests, and there was something like 8 players in the Blues recorded personal bests in fitness. So I think they're going to be, and also they've got the home crowd advantage there. So I'm not sure if fitness is going to be a concern for them. Discipline is their biggest concern for this game, without a doubt. Teams usually aim for 10 penalties a game. Terrible discipline by the Blues. Well, as we said, they're 9 in. So, I mean, I was concerned at how, the refereeing at the breakdown would be and whether or not they would have big influence. Last night we saw that it had really big influence on that match. I don't think we saw as much impact from it didn't look to me like the Blues were lacking an interpretation of the breakdown. I just thought they were lazy overall in terms of their discipline. K9 says, go the Chiefs. Unlucky last night, man. Great game. But I just think hometown advantage, I've said it a number of times now, is going to be a huge effort. It's going to be a huge impact on these games. And Highlanders had hometown advantage, good crowd there last night, had all the momentum behind them, and got unlucky really with young Gatlin pulling them home. Yes, SH plays from summer to winter anyway. I don't mind moving our season. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I just like Super Rugby to shorten. I think getting away from the Super 18 or whatever we are now, going back to Super 12, less number of games, open up some more game windows, and then we can actually look at managing things from there. But I just think you've got to get that fit right first. My man Carlos Spencer speaking, obviously assistant coach here at the Hurricanes. I might just listen to what he's got to say. So he's saying set piece is important. They did look like they were getting dominated at scrum. Okay, so he said that they're reasonably happy. I'm just listening to Carlos Spencer, the assistant coach for the Hurricanes. He's saying they're reasonably happy. Set piece was a concern, something they need to pick up. So that's probably fair commentary. I did think that they lacked a little bit there. All right, so where were we? Yeah, as I was saying, bro, I think if they can reduce the number of games in Super Rugby, open up some more windows, we get some more opportunities around how we manage a global calendar. Freddie, I'm going to check you out, bro. As soon as your video drops, I'll watch that for sure and give you my opinion. Melody's got chips and drinks coming. Well done. Although you should have been better prepared, Melody. You should have chips and drinks already at home, ready for the game. Adrian Swart, welcome along, bro. 6:30. Good to have you along. Enjoy the game, bro. So far, it's been a pretty good game. As we said, just lacking a bit of discipline there from the Blues. Jason Yang, welcome, brother. Oh, Melody says other way around. Yep, I agree. It's how it's looking for me right now as well. Roman, welcome along, bro. Good to have you here. Who do you think is going to win? I would say Melody's probably correct. Let me replay her comment. Canes will get tired. Blues will probably win. I agree with that. Welcome, Joaquin. Welcome along, bro. From Argentina. A lot of people from Argentina, and welcome along, everyone. Good to have you guys here. So rolling maul here from the Hurricanes. Hurricanes got the ball and attacking from inside their own half. Oh, Laumapi looked like made a break there, small break. Fumble from the Hurricanes. Melody ate all the chips and drank all the drink. Can't argue with that. Roman doesn't think the Hurricanes are good enough. They're a good team, man. They're just lacking a little bit in their cohesion. And I mean, Carlos Spencer said it as well. He just said that they need to improve their set piece, which I agree with. They're getting some good advantage here with look at Dan Carter here on the sideline next to Tana Umonga. The boys catching up. Bro, is Dan Carter going to be anything more than an assistant coach? It looks like he's just chilling with the other assistant coaches. Dan Carter's not playing in this game, Jason. Suliano, Bulla, brother. Welcome from Fiji. Bulla to you, bro. Hoskins Satutu's got the ball. Attacking off the scrum. This will be hyping. So my man Jordan says this will be hyping the Crusaders for next week. Did you see they played a game themselves this weekend amongst themselves? They got into two teams, and black and red, and they had a preseason hit out between them. And that game finished 21-21 with one of the players having a chance to win it in golden points. They played the same rules, and they ended on a draw, so they weren't able to close that game out. But from what I saw, David Havili had a great game, and he's going to be an All Black for sure this year. Celestini can't show the game. Sorry, brother. Jason Yang, DC's not playing, bro. Dan is the water boy. Yep, he's chilling with the other assistant coaches. That's exactly right. That's how I see LB's on the money. That's how I see Carter's role this year. More of an advisor, a mentor, and with a lot of young guys there. Oh, Reiko makes the break. Reiko Ioane gets the ball. No, Ben Lamb knock on. Okay, they're playing on. Hoskins Satutu with the ball. What happened there, ref? Poor reffing there. So the Blues have got a penalty after Reiko Ioane break. And Barrett takes the quick ball. Penalty they're in the 22 now, the Blues. Aotearoa Black gets it out wide. Bro, this Caleb Clark has been real good. He's where a lot of the points the breaks can come from. Laumapi with the turnover, kicks the ball down. Beauden Barrett's got it. And he's got space. That's a good kick. He puts the kick into the 22. Terrible kick from Chase Tiatia. Off the side of the boot. Saving DC for the Crusaders match. Probably right, bro. What's the score? Oh, that's the score, bro. 14-13. I'll just keep updating that, so you should be able to see that. All right, set piece here. Line out for the Blues. Attacking line out in the Hurricanes 22. Sorry, just outside the 22. Yeah, so Tutu's looking good, man. He held the ball up there and was able to pop away a offload. Ben Lamb in the breakdown. What's going on there? Good work in the breakdown. Getting the ball going out wide. Oh, knock on Blues in their half. Yeah, a bit of a lack of execution there. I will say, with all these players coming out of lockdown and dyeing their hair blonde and pink, and I'm not a fan of all that, eh? Don't like the look of that. Yeah, I mean, at this stage in the game, what are we, 5 minutes into the second half? It's going to be interesting how they roll the benches here. Joaquin asks, is Geordie in? Nah, he's injured at the moment, bro, so he hasn't made the 23. Louise Ola, bro, welcome in. Kia ora, brother. Time remaining, so it's 45 minutes into the second half, 5 minutes into the second half. But the match clock is 45-48 for me. So the Hurricanes said they wanted to focus on the set piece a little bit more. Carlos Spencer said that, and they were able to get a good set piece penalty there. Yes, scrum penalty. See, I actually think in the next 3 years, the Hurricanes will have the most dominant scrum in New Zealand rugby. I just think some of the players coming through there, guys like Tyrell Lomax, Alex Fidel, they've got some great talent. A few of those guys should make the All Blacks. But I want to see Adi, Karifi, and Fafita there as well. Those three are going to be lethal. Certainly one of the best ball-running loose forward trios in Super Rugby. So the Hurricanes got the ball inside the Blues half. Jordan Tofu, I honestly don't know much about him, Freddie. I haven't seen much of him and don't really know the name that well, to be honest, but I'll check him out. So Hurricanes a bit stagnant in attack here. I mean, they're attacking inside the Blues. Oh, going for the drop goal. Guard and Basham, he's got the... Oh, it's short. Bro, what is going on with New Zealand rugby? Everyone's coming out crazy. Everyone's coming out crazy here. He was about 40 meters out there. Melody asks, how's the beer? If it's cold, it's good. That's my opinion on beer, Melody. So cheers to you. Cheers to everyone. Johnny Blaze, thank you, brother. Oh, man, the bleached hair is just a problem for me, eh? I don't know what's up with that. Dude's coming out with pink, blonde hair. Don't know what's up. It's one of those things, though, I think that, there's nothing else to do in lockdown, so people start dyeing their hair. And appreciate the donation, Johnny Blaze. Thanks so much, bro. Really appreciate it, man. All right, so the Hurricanes got a line out inside the 22, attacking. He was offside there. Satutu came through, disrupted the ball. Good work. Looked offside to me, but good disruption. So the Blues got the ball now. Oh, and here they come. Beauden Barrett attacks. I think Beauden's been a little bit, if I'm honest, I think he's been a little bit slow, like 1 or 2 steps behind his normal pace. I know his first game back in a while, so scores up here, bro, if you can see that. 14-13, this is for Cohen. 14-13 to the Blues. Number 3 from Blues is really good. That'll be offered to Ngafasi. He's he's an All Black, bro. That's why. That's why he's good. He's a great player. Oh, here comes Artie. Artie's standing up. Oh, Artie's standing up. So 49 minutes into this into the second half. TJ's got a bit of blood coming over the eye. And it's attacking line out for the Blues in the Hurricanes half, just on the 22. Win the line out, no problems. Caleb Clark, bro. Caleb Clark seems to be beating every single first tackler. Penalty Blues. Offside play. Walker Leowed is on. Oh, chip through. Got the ball. Let's try, bro. Let's try. Let's try. Blues with the try. Who kicked that? Aotearoa Black is probably the man of the match for me today. Dalton Papali'i gets the try. I did say Aotearoa Black would be huge in this. Looked like he put that ball through. They had the penalty advantage as well, so on my bad, it was TJ Faiani. Very good kick, man. There wasn't much of a gap there either, but it was just right on the money. TJ Faiani chipped through. Dalton Papali'i showing some pace. Bro, he's happy. Johnny Blaze says Beauden Barrett's been a little bit, must be all the red ones and has been with a multi-million-dollar mansion. But I saw this thing with him where he's talking about what he's been up to in lockdown. He's like, yeah, had a few red wines and just, I was like, bro, you must be living the good life in your Remuera mansion. Artie's coming off. Here we go. Let's go. Didn't see what happened to TJ's eye, Melody. Aotearoa Black doing the kicking. Yep, that's right, Jaden. And he's played pretty well so far this game. That's a tough kick, though. Got it. Brought it back perfectly. All right, so the Blues are up 21-13. Hurricanes have got to be careful here because the Blues could start to pull away. (21-13) Blues, let's go. So the Blues have definitely had the better of the second half, and the way it's going, the Hurricanes need to turn this around, otherwise they might get left behind here. LB says Blues got some big, good wingers. I've been really, so Sarvia's on everyone. He came on for Karifi though. I've been really impressed with Caleb Clark, bro. He's probably the one who's stood out. But Mark Talia's been good. And Reko Ioane, too, has been playing really well. Parsons has been okay, bro. Big shot. Who's that? Asafu Aumua, is it? Oh, bro, that was just a good hit. Unlucky. Parsons has been thrown pretty well, bro. To be honest, the Blues dominated the line out in the scrums in the first half. Got those Aroni genes here, bro. Those Aroni Clark genes. I was watching some of the finals back in the 90s when Aroni Clark was carving up for the Blues. Actually, I really like that old Blues jersey as well. Oh, Melody's happy. 21-13. Let's go. And attacking line out in the 22. In the Hurricanes 22. LB played with Parsons' brother. Too much, brother. Oh, bro, come on. You must have, if you're going to go to bed in that game, you must have gone to bed like 2 minutes before the before the end, because that's what it took for that game to be decided. Aotearoa Black, so it's an attacking raid here for the Blues. Good defense. Vince Ussell pushing back the Blues. Melody's prediction's coming true. Your prediction, Melody, our prediction is coming true. And the Blues get the penalty. Blues are looking real dangerous here, man. They could put some points on here. The Hurricanes have got to turn this around. Jason, no cards yet, no yellows, no reds. That's Vince Ussell, bro. Is his name. He's strong player. Oh, Caleb Clark is on fire. Yeah, bro, he's playing real well. Agree, man. Blues lineout has been immense. It was Carlos Spencer, who's the assistant coach for the Hurricanes at halftime. He was saying that the Hurricanes need to pick up their set piece lineout and scrum. They look good in the scrum, but their lineout hasn't been functioning as well as the Blues. Now, Aotearoa Black's got a kick for goal here. Blues do look well-rounded, bro. I mean, they've got to be, to be honest with you, other teams with that penalty count in that first half would have put more points on. So I think while the Blues are looking really good, their discipline's got to be a real concern for the coaching staff. Oh, he's got it. Damn, I hope I don't have to keep getting up too often to put points on here for the Blues. 24-13. So Hurricanes gone deep now. So what are we? 11 points now. The Blues, Hurricanes got to be careful, man. They really need to get a turnaround here. All the confidence is with the Blues, all the execution. They've tidied up their discipline as well. Bro, nobody drinks Waikato draft, surely. Now I've got this is Stonewoods, but like I've said to someone else, if it's cold, bro, I'll drink it. If it's cold beer, I'll drink it. So Hurricanes got the ball here on their half, just building. What's that, bro? What do I think of Argentina players going to Europe? I think that's probably their only viable option. I mean, they tried to make a pathway in Southern Hemisphere rugby through Super Rugby for Argentinian players to have, professional contracts, and it looks like that's not going to. I mean, there's been no announcements about the Jaguares, but it just doesn't look like it's worked for them as well as anyone else at the moment. So, Southern Hemisphere rugby and Super Rugby really need some changes, man, because it's not having the effect they were hoping it would happen, and as a result, players have to go to Europe. Oh, Hoskins Satutu dominating here. Oh, Mark Talia break down the sideline, just on the 22, gets tackled. Turnover. Oh, no. So they're playing the advantage there. Yeah, that's what I think about Argentina players going to Europe. I mean, they've got to do what they've got to do. The onus is on Southern Hemisphere rugby to try and have pathways for players to stay in Southern Hemisphere. They haven't done that. So players are going to make their own decisions and go where the money is. I just think Super Rugby needs some changes in a way that helps retain Southern Hemisphere players in the Southern Hemisphere. I just don't think SANZAAR has the commercial pull to be able to draw in enough for all countries in SANZAAR. That's the issue. My man, I agree with you, bro. There's a gap there at number 8. Hoskins Satutu so far for me is the guy, and he's probably leading the man of the match race for me in this game. I think Satutu's probably edging as man of the match. Who do you guys think? 58 minutes, 20 minutes to go. Our man Aotearoa Black's lining up a kick. But who do you think's man of the match so far? Aotearoa Black's got a kick here. Got the penalty. $40 meters out. No problems with the distance. He's right out of front. Yeah, easy. So he's my man's 5 from 5 so far. Aotearoa Black 5 from 5. $27-13. Yeah, Aotearoa Black's played really, really well. All right, Alex Fidel's on. Garden Bishop's off. Hurricanes are looking to make changes now. So Blues in their own 22. Oh, over the ball here. Off his feet. Artie Xavier gave away the penalty there. Got over the ball quickly, but then he fell off his feet. I'll answer some of these questions once the game's over or if we get breaks in place. Who do I think is going to win Super Rugby? I think the Crusaders are going to be hard to beat, guys. That's my current opinion. All right, so the Blues have got an attacking line out here on halfway. What's going on here? So they're just attacking on their halfway line. Aotearoa Black kicking through. He's playing really, really well. Finds the gap there. Ball lands on the ground. Hurricanes cleaning it up. They're going to run it from their 22. That's because Beauden Barrett put pressure on that. But that's pretty good work from Aotearoa from 15. He got caught out with the line speed, was able to recover, break a couple of tackles. The Hurricanes now getting out of trouble, which is great. Hey, man, I'm happy for Blues fans. I'm glad that Blues fans are happy now. It's knock on, bro. All right, Ben Lamb's got the break, gets it off to Ngani Laumapi, keeps it in. Asafo Amua drops the ball down. Blues have got the ball. Mark Talia. Oh, Talia makes a break, but gets caught. Geez, this ref's lost control of the breakdown by the looks of it. I think the ref's been actually quite poor. Looks like he's trying to keep the momentum moving, but he's missing some key stuff. Hurricanes attacking on the halfway line. They really look like they're lacking structure and ideas here, the Hurricanes. They're literally one out the ruck every single time. One out the ruck to the forwards, one out the ruck to the backs. Bro, set up something. See, the challenge now for the Hurricanes is they're away from home, big crowd, all the momentum's with the Blues. They need to break the line. They need to find some. Okay, big turnover here. Caleb Clark. My man could be man of the match here, Caleb Clark. Got the turnover and the breakdown. These new rules in World Rugby are really in Super Rugby, especially the way they're interpreting the breakdown, it's going to be really important that backs can contribute in the breakdown as well. So I think we're going to see more of backs winning turnovers in the breakdown. I think that's what's going to happen here, the way I'm watching the game now and last night's game. I just think that skill set is going to be so important to challenge at the breakdown. Yeah, I've been concerned. The way this has gone for the Hurricanes, they're just lacking few ideas, man. They're just one out the ruck. I mean, you look, Ngani Laumapi gets the ball from a stationary position, and you just think, of course he's going to get tackled hard there. He's got no momentum. He's just one out the ruck. So Blues have got the attacking line out on the 22. They're just attacking. Aotearoa Black just snuck through there. Needed someone with him. Beauden Barrett gets the ball on his 22. Hurricanes defense is looking good. Man. Just feels like the Hurricanes are going to crack here soon. All the attacking momentum is with the Blues. They really need some strong defensive work and a turnover. Just can't see where it's going to come from yet. Plenty of hands in the ruck. I agree, man. I think the refs really struggled to keep control of the breakdown in this game. He's just letting too many things go. And as a result, players are just sort of all over the ball. Bro, all of these post-lockdown hairstyles are terrible, man. Some of these blonde hair, pink hair, they just need to go to the barbershop, bro. All right, so Blues have got the advantage. Now penalty advantage on the 22. Barrett's gone for the drop goal. Misses the drop goal on the side. In 2 games of Super Rugby, I don't reckon I've seen more drop goal attempts than these last 2 games. I've already seen 2 in this game. All right, so ref's having a chat now with the Hurricanes, telling them there's too many penalties. Let's see what the let's check in with the stats here. So you can see previously it was 9 penalties Blues to 3 the Hurricanes, and now we're seeing 11-10. So 10's actually not a bad number overall with penalties conceded in an entire match for a team. It's at the upper end, but now with the new rules, we're expecting more. So I actually think both teams now are starting to show pretty good composure. The Blues bench looks like they're starting to roll some changes. Got a few guys warming up. But that's good to see that the Blues have been able to pull back their discipline issues. And that was a big concern going into halftime, if you guys remember. And now we're seeing that they're actually pulling that back. It went from 9-3 to 11-10, so that's good result for the Blues. I reckon you're right, Jordan. I reckon he probably watched that game last night and thought, oh, there's going to be a bit of heat on the refs here, so maybe I'll just tone it down a little bit. But I actually think as a result of that, there's just too much inconsistency between last night's game and today's game. Now, Aotearoa Black's lining up another one. He's 5 from 5 now, isn't he? Or 6 from 6? Right out in front, he should get this. Aotearoa Black. Oh, we got 5 subs coming on from the Blues. 5 subs just ran in from the Blues. Joseph, what's up, bro? Welcome along. What are we 30? So the Blues have just been ticking the scoreboard over, man. It was 14-13 at halftime, remember? Now we're 25 minutes into the second half, 30 points to 13. Blues just brought on 5 subs now as well. So they took off Ofatunga Fussy, though. That's a big call. I probably would have left him out there, but he's played 65 minutes, I suppose. The Blues are back. Brother thinks the Blues are back. Maybe. I've had people already say that it's the Blues year this year. Let's see, bro. If I'm honest, I think that this continues last night's theme that hometown advantage in this Super Rugby competition is going to be massive. So it's something to keep looking out for. Aotearoa Black pumps ball downfield. Hurricanes got it on their own halfway line. They need to spark. TJ with the break. Woo! That's pure determination. Forward pass, bro. So Artie's been a little bit off so far. Just a couple mistakes at the breakdown, and now he throws a forward pass there. But that run from TJ was real good, showing determination as a co-captain. Ran from his own 40, got tackled on their 40, managed to make the breakthrough as well. So awesome stuff there from TJ. 2 gingers and blue shirts. True, bro. 2 gingers, 2 blondes, 1 pink hair. Bro, it's all happening for the Blues this year. Oh, whoa. There's some guys, I'll tolerate a lot of stuff on the stream, and you can have your opinion, but comments like this, LB, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Artie is not overrated. Let's go. Let's go, Artie. Thoughts on McDonald and Holland so far? Yeah, we've seen a turnaround for the Blues even before the lockdown. So you would have to say Leon McDonald is making an impact there. McDonald and Holland. So I think he's been good for the Blues so far. Corey Jane, I think, is one of the assistant coaches, bro. If I recall. Definitely doesn't play, although all these old boys are coming out of retirement, so you never know who's going to pop up for any of these teams soon. My Super Rugby team is the Crusaders, bro. I know that's going to upset a lot of people, but that's my team. All right, Hurricanes got the ball. They're inside their own half, getting up to halfway here. On halfway now. Oh, good ball. Oh, that's a huge tackle from Hoskins Satutu. Later, ball. I guess that's when I said I support the Hurricanes, is it? I'll suffer one more down the sideline. Just a bit sloppy here from the Hurricanes, man. They're making the breaks and making the meters, but you know he just lost the ball there with a break down the sideline. All right, Ngani Laumapi's got the ball in his own half, trying to get away. He's a bit stop-start in this game, Laumapi. I just think that the Hurricanes don't have great flow at the moment in their team. They're just... Oh, yeah, okay, penalty Hurricanes, probably well-deserved there. Semi, the game's in Eden Park in Auckland, bro. A lot of people saying this, man. A lot of people saying it could be the year of the Blues. I think... So far from what I've seen in Super Rugby, bro, the Blues have got all of it. They've got all the skills. Their discipline was a concern in the first half. That's the only thing that kept it close. But I think hometown advantage is going to be huge in this tournament. Man, I like a Samoa more. I really want to see him play for the All Blacks. Probably didn't need to throw that pass. All right, they're replacing the captain now. 10 minutes to go. Patrick Tuipulotu's coming off. I think he's had a great game. Actually, he's set the tone for physicality in the game. He's got their forward momentum going. And, yeah, he's been good, really good. Aotearoa Black coming off as well. Harry Plummer coming in. Doesn't look happy, old Aotearoa Black. Sort of slouching over, walking off the field. Come on, bro. Show some positive body language. Amoa's come off injured by the looks of it. Watching from Waikawa. Cheers, brother. I'm originally from Blenheim. Originally from Blenheim. Spent a lot of time in Picton, Waikawa, all over those parts, bro. That's my home. That's why I support the Crusaders. Which is the best league in the world? Oh. I'm going to leave that one for today, bro. That's a conversation for another day. Who's faster, Beauden Barrett or Ben Lamb? Bodie, for sure. For sure, it's Bodie. Bulla Kara, welcome, bro. Bulla. Oh, whoa. That's a touchy subject, Melody. Do I support the Crusaders or Warriors more? Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a massive Warriors fan. But who do I support more? Oh, probably Rugby first. Dane Cole's down the sideline again. Chips forward. Oh, into touch. You know, Dane Cole's at the start of Super Rugby this year was giving away a lot of penalties. And, you know, it looked like a bit of a concern. He just seemed to lose his head a bit. But in this game, he's played really, really well. You know, I was thinking his All Black time might be coming to an end, but he's looking good out of lockdown, playing well. Yeah, for me so far, man of the match is probably Hoskins Satutu. He's up there. What do you guys think? We're 8 minutes away from time. Who do you think is currently man of the match? Sammy, welcome in, bro. Welcome from the US. All right, so the Hurricanes got the ball 5 meters out, an attack, but the Blues have turned it over here. Look, I think the issue for the Hurricanes in this game has been their handling errors. They've just they just haven't been able to mount pressure enough to be able to really challenge or break the line. They just keep with the turnovers. How many turnovers has there been? Let's see. Yeah, so the Hurricanes here, if I bring this stat up, they've conceded 12 turnovers to the Blues 7. So that's starting to tell a bit of the story of this game. Agree with you, bro. That's 100% true. Handling errors and a lack of creativity. Aotearoa has been solid for sure. See, look at this. So the Hurricanes turned over now. Aotearoa Black's been solid, man. So Nippon, we've got 6 minutes into the end of the game. What do I think of the USA Eagles? They were fun to watch in the Rugby World Cup. Their their fullback, I thought was really, really good. But obviously they're pulling from a small player pool, so difficult to compete with some of the top teams. I'd like to see them just continue the development. And the MLR, actually, the Major League Rugby tournament looks pretty cool, man. So I'm going to check that out. The team that I like is the Toronto Arrows in the MLR. So the Hurricanes, a few handling errors, but they get the ball here. Into the last 6 minutes. All right, so who do you guys think is man of the match now? We've probably seen enough now that we can start to think about that. I think for some reason the Super Rugby seems faster. It really does. I wonder if it's I just don't think the rule changes have had that big an impact on this game and about speeding it up. I just think that players have come out with a real attacking mindset and as such have been able to throw the ball around. Handling errors has been a bit of a concern, particularly for the Hurricanes. The Blues have looked really good with the ball in hand. Second half try scorers for the Blues. I'll have to go through and check that, but I can't remember, to be honest. Some happy Blues fans here, man. Welcome in, brother. Welcome in from Kaikoura here. That's a good call, Jordan. I reckon that's exactly why Dan Carter is there, is because the impact. He's there more as a mentor type role, and obviously cover if you need it. But the impact that he's having on Aotearoa Black and some of the younger guys. Pedal injured because he could have really done with some influence from DC. But he's definitely starting to influence. Jason likes Aotearoa Black as man of the match. LB likes Aotearoa Black man of the match. I'm going to start a MVP style voting for Super Rugby, and you guys can have an impact on that as well. But so I'm going to choose 3 players and give the top performer 3 points, the second 2 points, and the third 1 point. We'll keep all of the votes, and then at the end I'll choose the MVP based on the votes. So let me know what you guys think. If you think who you think is man of the match, and I'll include it in my calculations and my votes. Oh, here we go. Hurricanes on attack. Be good to see the Hurricanes get some consolation here. Oh, my man's almost through. Replacement halfback. Oh, handling errors. Hurricanes get the penalty, though. 5 meters out from the line with 3 minutes to go. Yeah, I'd like to see the Hurricanes get a consolation here. I just think they deserve a consolation for the way they've played. So they're hard on attack here, the Hurricanes. Come on, boys, you deserve something. Oh, just a meter, less than a minute. Oh, they've got the try. So it looks like the replacement, who's the replacement halfback? Booth. So 30 to 18. So they're playing here for the bonus point. A lot of calls for Aotearoa Black man of the match. I probably agree with everyone. I think Aotearoa man of the match, second Hoskins Satutu. So Aotearoa will get 3 points, Hoskins Satutu will get 2, and then 1 point I'll be giving to Caleb Clark. I think he's been awesome. Aotearoa, Satutu, and Clark. Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Jordan. I'll probably leave Reiko out on this one though. So the Hurricanes need one more try to get a bonus point here. How many minutes to the end, bro? It's 2 minutes into the end. Score now is 30 to 20. And Hurricanes need one more try to get a bonus point. Actually, they need 3 more points to get a bonus point. $30 to 20. Blues lead the Hurricanes. 3 points needed for that bonus point. Shout out, please, in capitals from my guy. I don't know about capitals, bro. Do we need to go there? All right, the Hurricanes have got the ball. They've got a long way to go, though. Looks like they're getting an advantage. Is the ref playing advantage? Penalty to the Blues. So they'll take the penalty here. That'll probably be the game. 1 minute to go here, Arlen. 1 minute to go. Yep, 30 seconds to go. Aotearoa back. Oh, they're going to go for the... Oh, the boys are going for the corner. So they had the penalty pretty much out in front near the 22. And now they're kicking for the corner to have a go, line out and try. Good on them, man. So it's a real change in the Blues now. It's a real change. Just think they're they're willing to have a good crack here. Blues line out 5 meters out, 10 seconds to go in the match. I'd like to see the Hurricanes keep them out, if I'm honest with you. I just think the Hurricanes could do with a consolation here. So they're 1 meter out from the line. Blues hot on attack. Okay, they weren't able to get the ball wide quickly. Hurricanes defense looks good. Reiko's running through from the 22. The Blues still hot on attack. It's 80 minutes, 20 seconds now, so we're over time. Oh, big man makes the break. Dalton Papali'i with the ball. Hurricanes defense is holding up, though. Hurricanes defense is holding up. TJ Faiani, he's also played really, really well today. What do you guys thought of TJ Faiani? And the Blues knocked it on. So the Hurricanes are trying to counter-attack from their own try line. They know they need a bonus point. They need some points, so they're willing to run it out. Even though we're over time, they're going to have a crack. What is that? Game over, knocked on. Well, the boys are hunched over. Everyone's looking tired. And they look like they've emptied the tank, man. What a game. So Blues take the win. I know that's going to make a lot of people that have been watching really, really happy. So well done to all the Blues supporters. Let's get some light in here, actually. It's a bit dark going on. Well done to all the Blues supporters. I know a lot of people following along today will be very, very happy with that. In terms of man in the match, I think others have hit the money on the nail on the head with this one. I think Aotearoa Black is probably the man of the match for me. He was one guy that before the game we looked at and we said it's going to be really, really important that he has a good game. between him and Patrick Tuipulotu. For me, they were probably the two most influential players that the Blues needed to stand up in this game, and they definitely did that. Tuipulotu set the tone there in the forwards with his physical play and good defense, and also our guy, Aotearoa, really did a good job of running the team around. So for me, man of the match, Aotearoa. Probably the next player I'll call out from the Blues perspective would be Hoskin Satutu. I thought he was great with the ball in hand, really disruptive at the breakdown. He seems to have adjusted well to the new breakdown rules as well. So he's one player that will get the points as well for me on the MVP table. And then the third player that I would call out would be Caleb Clark. I thought he was really, really good, able to break tackles, always looked to beat the first defender, and probably looked the most dangerous of the Blues, the back line. But it was really sparked by Aotearoa. There were concerns at halftime around their discipline. They were able to come back from that and correct it at halftime. That's something that both Tana Umaga spoke about before the half, as well as some of the other players spoke about. But that's a really good win for the Blues. For the Hurricanes, they just seem to lack a little bit. It looks like they've come out of the lockdown and just haven't quite got their cohesion there. So there was a lot of errors for the Hurricanes. I thought they were able to build momentum in patches, but not enough to really challenge the Blues here. At halftime, it was 14 points to 13, and a big reason for that was the ill discipline from the Blues. But the Hurricanes were able to keep it close at that stage. Unfortunately, they came out of the second half and just weren't able to correct the handling issues. And even some of their players, like Artie Severe, came in off the bench. He just seemed to he looked like he hasn't played for a while. The way that the way that he was going in terms of his play. A bit lazy at the breakdown, a couple of drop balls. I just think he'll do better as he gets more game time under his belt. They've also spoke about the need to correct the set piece. So both scrum and line-out had some concerns there for the Hurricanes. So they've got some things to work on. I just think that they've come out of lockdown a little bit flat, some handling errors and away from home. I do think that being away from home is going to be a big impact for teams. I think that hometown advantage is going to be hard to overcome, particularly if we see some good crowds here. I think, Caleb Clark looks like a chip off the old block. He looks exactly like us all, man. But I do think that hometown advantage is going to be huge in the Super Rugby competition. So that's one thing we'll keep an eye out on. Last night, I thought the ref had a big impact with the breakdown, particularly getting so many penalties being given away yesterday. I thought in this one, there was a little bit less of an impact from the referee. He probably looked, and Jordan, you mentioned this, but he probably looked at yesterday's game and thought, okay, I'll try and tone it down a little bit. We saw that. I thought there was too many inconsistencies at the breakdown. And I also thought there's a lot of inconsistencies between the way the breakdown was policed last night versus tonight. So another talking point that we'll keep an eye out for. But that being said, guys, great win from the Blues. Everyone's saying it could be the year of the Blues. Maybe it will be. We'll see. If they start to get wins away from home, then we can all get excited. But I just thought it was a really good composed performance by the Blues, and they thoroughly deserved the win. In terms of what's next, so I will be back again, guys. I'm going to drop off now, but I'll be back again next week. So do come back and join in if you like just hearing, a bit of rugby banter and rugby chat during the game. Please come back and join me again. What I'm going to do is during the week, I'll have a Super Rugby show where I'll cover off all the big talking points from Super Rugby this week. But I've pretty much given you guys what I think. I think, as I say, the way the breakdown is being policed is having a big impact. Hometown advantage is huge. And let's have a look at some of next week's games. Here we go. So let me bring this up. Melody wants to know who's playing next week. So Chiefs and Blues in Chiefs country. Crusaders take on the Hurricanes in Wellington. So a couple of massive games. Make sure you guys tune in for those. What are we? 5 o'clock New Zealand time and 5 o'clock Australian time, and 1:30 here in the Hurricanes. So, now that was awesome work, stuff. Everyone, thanks a lot for joining. Have a great day, Blues fans. I know you're really happy. John Bland wants to know the final score. Blues take it 30 points. Hurricanes scored 20. But no, I really, really enjoyed that, everyone. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll see you guys next week.